Hello, Bashar. My name is Meerte. I am from Rotterdam in the Netherlands. And I have a question about Sekhmet, who's been very relevant to me in the past few years. And in Egypt, she was also called Weret Hekau, which means great of magic. And I'd like to ask you, who is she, and in what reality or dimension does she exist, and what is the purpose of her interaction with us, or our interaction with her? My idea is that she is related to topics of shamanism and shapeshifting. And regarding those two topics, you've explained that we can raise our own frequency by letting go of fear-based beliefs or beliefs that are not relevant to us. You've explained about the cells of the earth and how different beings can exist in their dimensions, which we can actually access when we raise our own frequency. But then there's also the idea of actually being able to change form, like shape-shifting, or changing location, like teleportation. And I'm very curious how these things relate to each other, whether shape-shifting and teleportation are also related to shifting frequencies, and how that would work, if that depends on changing belief systems in the moment, or if or if that's something else. I would love to hear about this from you. Thank you so much, Bashar.
No, it's exactly that. It's all about resonance. It's all about frequency. Now, you've encapsulated many different questions into your so-called single question. Sekhmet does represent the understanding of magic and shape-shifting and the connecting to different parallel realities and changing of frequencies to allow that to occur. It is also representative of an ancient Anunnaki being. At the same time, it functions as an archetypal energy that has remained within the collective consciousness of your planet, that does in fact have to do with the power of the sacred feminine in reaching out with the senses into different parallel realities and gathering together those understandings that will allow for transformation and changing of function and shape. Good day, good day.
Hello, Bashar. I'm so excited to be here.
All right, thank you.
I had a question about a past experience I had.
Yes.
And it was during the time when I had a lot of fear and anxiety. And so I started to connect more like with my higher self and do meditations.
All right. Intuitively, that is the correct direction to have gone in.
Thank you. So I woke up one early morning feeling paralyzed, and I started to hear like a melody, a dial tone. And I saw like this pink liquid. And then I felt this intense vibration on my throat chakra, like something was being pulled. And I started to see like these three beings. They were kind of transparent, and they had like, the big eyes and the big head.
Yes.
But once that happened, I became so fearful. It just completely stopped.
Yes, but you can get used to this, knowing that it's your choice too to experience this, because you're part of the agenda that allows you to know that you exist between two worlds.
Yes. Yes. And afterwards, I just started to see a lot of vibrant colors. I started to do things I never thought I could again.
Yes, you'd been upgraded vibrationally. You'd been aligned vibrationally.
So I was wondering, like, who these beings were. What kind of connection do I have with them?
Do you understand the hybridization agenda?
Sort of, yes.
All right. Well, they were quasi-gray beings, but in a slightly altered state in between your reality and theirs, which is where they brought you. As we often say, many of these encounters happen in a slightly altered vibrational reality other than what you consider to be your physical reality. It still has traits of physicalness, but it's not your particular dimension. Many people are brought there because it's easier to help align people vibrationally in that particular state. So they understood that you needed some alignment. They were willing to help with that because you're part and parcel of their particular project as well.
Okay. So would that mean I would have hybrid children?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Is there a way I could connect with them more?
Yes. Use your imagination. When you think of the idea of hybrid children, how do you feel?
Nurturing.
All right. Then anytime you go into a meditative state and allow yourself to express that nurturing energy, that can form a stronger connection for you to any of them.
Okay. Yeah. I'm definitely going to do that.
All right.
I also had a question when I do like these Reiki sessions or Akashic records. I usually get these visualizations of like other beings, and
Yes.
my clients sometimes feel them, like, that there's more people in the room.
Yes.
So I was wondering, are they part of that, like to do the sessions?
They're there to help.
Mhm.
They're there to help. You're tapping into your resources. You're bringing them to bear to help you do what it is you do, because it's part of your project too. So you will never, in that sense, be alone when you're doing those things, because you have asked them to be of assistance by providing their energy, by providing an environment and an atmosphere that can be of help to others when they are immersed in those vibrations.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Yes.
Also, we've been seeing more activity like around my apartment when I use certain like smoky quartz crystals or clear out my apartment.
Yes. Well, it's organization, it's clarifying, it's allowing you to use permission slips that give you more opportunity to align yourself, to clarify yourself, which expands your senses and allows you to experience more things that were heretofore invisible to you that will become visible to you over time.
Oh, okay. So just continue doing that and it would just happen more frequently.
Yes, because you're training your senses to perceive beyond the physical.
Mm.
There are things around all of you all the time that you just don't see. But when you expand your consciousness, when you practice living in your true state of being more and more, then your senses go along for the ride, and they are capable of stretching out to experience things that were heretofore invisible to you. You bring more things into the realm of your senses' capabilities of perceiving.
Okay. Yes, that makes a lot of sense.
I know, that's why I said it.
Yes. I also wanted to ask whether it's like, guilt or any type of emotion that gets stuck in the body.
Nonsense. Nonsense. Nothing gets stuck in the body. You stick it there by your belief systems, by holding on to it because you believe you need to, for some reason, because you believe the alternative would be worse. As we just explained, the idea of guilt is self-judgment when you experience an alignment to tell you that you've been out of alignment. But why wallow in the self-judgment and continue to perpetuate the idea of guilt and shame instead of learning the lesson that the feeling you're calling guilt is simply a rush of alignment energy to let you know that you've been out of alignment, and then give you the opportunity to take responsibility for having made the choice to go out of alignment by bringing yourself back into alignment, making the choice to go back into alignment with your true vibration, instead of continuing to be in the negative state by continuing to wallow in the guilt and the shame. You're not learning the lesson if that's what you do.
Yeah. Yes, that's a good way to see it, actually.
Yes, guilt is just a barometer to let you know how misaligned you might be with your true self. So why heap more negative judgment on top of it by assuming that something is wrong with you, by continuing to judge yourself instead of going, oh, I'm feeling that rush of alignment energy that I'm experiencing as the idea of guilt to let me know that I'm simply out of alignment. I will now go toward responsibility by having the ability to respond to that rush of alignment in a positive way by simply using it as an indicator that I've been out of alignment. Now, how can I bring myself back into alignment? Simple.
You're right. It is simple. I just overthink it all the time.
Yes. That's why it's so important to clarify your definitions about your relationships to these experiences so you can use them in more positive ways instead of perpetuating the negative experience.
Yes. I've also noticed that a lot of people, channelers are starting to like change their beliefs on what they were doing.
Yeah.
So like, I don't want to question my own self. So like, I am wondering like why those things happen. Like, is it the fear base of like,
Well, it depends on the person. It depends on their path. It depends on what they need to learn. Why not question yourself?
Yeah.
Always check to make sure that you're making choices based on the idea of integrity and alignment with your true vibration. It's very important to know why you choose to do what you do. So investigate why you're making the choices that you're making. And then you will be in a state where you can always guide yourself correctly.
Very true. Yes, makes a lot of sense.
I know.
Thank you so much, Bashar.
You are welcome. It is our passion and our pleasure. Good day. Good day.
How are you?
Perfect. And you?
I'm good. A little bit nervous, but good. So I wanted to ask you because guilt is very much present in my family, and last week, exactly a week ago, my uncle has passed away.
Yes.
And my uncle, who's a brother of my grandma, I still call him an uncle. And he passed away unexpectedly. His mother feels a little bit guilty for this.
Why does she feel guilty? What does his passing have to do with her?
She said that she's a very simple woman. Like,
I don't care. What does his passing have to do with her? Did she kill him?
She said that she was talking bad behind his back about him, and that's why he died.
It's not why he died. These things are chosen by the person. The timing, however, can serve her in recognizing that perhaps saying things behind his back that are negative gives her an opportunity to recognize through the idea of the alignment rush that she may have been out of alignment in doing so. But to continue to wallow in the guilt means she's not learning the lesson that he has given her the opportunity to understand. So why not learn the lesson because of the timing of the death that put her in touch with the fact that she may have been out of alignment in saying the things that she said behind his back, and use that opportunity to propel herself forward in a positive way, which is what would be the wish of the person that died.
Okay.
Do you understand?
I think
once a person is in spirit, they're no longer the way they were in physical reality. They are made and wrapped in unconditional love and only wish the best for those that are still physical. So the timing of the death, even though it was chosen by the person who died, is an opportunity for those left behind to realize what their relationship to that person was. And if they're feeling the guilt, the rush of alignment or the rush of misalignment, then they can realign themselves and not spend more time in guilt, which is exactly the opposite of what the spirit of that dead person would now wish for that person. It's a lesson to be learned. It's an alignment to be corrected. And if she is willing to learn the lesson, then she can actually serve the purpose of the death in a positive way, honor that person who died in a positive way by learning that the way she was behaving is not necessarily ideal, and bringing herself back into alignment, which would completely satisfy the spirit, knowing that the person had done something loving for themselves based on something that was done by the person who died, that was a loving opportunity given to that person to give them the opportunity to correct their own energy. Does that make sense? Do you understand?
yes.
So if you can explain that to her, maybe it will help her.
Yes.
But if she continues to wallow in the guilt of what she has done, then she is only continuing to dishonor that person's choice to die at that time, instead of learning the lesson that that person has given her.
Thank you.
If she is willing to realign herself and not continue to wallow in guilt, more messages will be able to come and she will be able to receive them herself.
Okay, thank you. And also, I have a question about a full moon. So
Yes.
I've noticed and how it impacts people's actions. So I've noticed that...
One moment. It does not impact people's actions. Their belief about it impacts their own actions. Remember, everything in physical reality is a reflective symbol, not a cause. It's a reflection of what's already going on in your consciousness, a reflection of your belief systems to point out to you what kind of belief systems you have. So the impact you're feeling is caused by you and those people having a particular belief about their relationship to your moon that then causes something in them to change. It's not being done by the moon. The moon is being used as a symbol, as a permission slip to allow those people to do those things to themselves. You understand the difference?
Yes, there is a belief system that of people that the moon has impact on them, but it's not necessarily the moon itself. It's that it comes from within rather than from the outside.
The moon is a representation of many different kinds of beliefs that allow people to experience certain things they wish to experience, but don't necessarily believe they can experience it on their own. Therefore, they use symbols like the moon to have the experiences that they don't believe they can create for themselves.
Okay. So, because what I wanted to say is that I've noticed that oftentimes these people on full moon days, they're like, for example, a lot of people in emergency rooms and
Again,
crazy.
It's all about the idea of their own belief system and their relationship to the symbol they are using to give themselves permission to move in a certain direction, and that could be positive or negative.
Mm-hmm. It's not like a greater chance to manifest things in life.
It's a greater chance if certain people believe that it's a greater chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But again, everything in physical reality is a reflection of what's going on in their consciousness. It's not a cause of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I also wanted to ask, because so I'm Polish and I have a lot of family in Poland.
Yeah.
And my closest family, my brother, really likes living in Poland.
Yes.
And in my opinion, it's maybe not the best place to live because...
Well, that's not your choice to make, is it?
No.
You can share with him your ideas about why you feel it might not be the best place, but you still have to allow him to make his own decisions if he is actually truly happy there. Remember, you don't know what his life path is, and whatever it is that's going to happen in that particular area may be something that he has designed himself to go through. You can't make that choice for him. You can only share with him the idea of why you might have a more positive experience somewhere else, but don't necessarily say it from the idea of fear. Otherwise, you're just reinforcing the negative side of any particular issue that may occur.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not your life. You can share your opinion, but you have to let go. It's not your life, and it's not your choice to make.
Okay. The thing is that he's a part of the family, and I still care about him.
Well, of course you care, but if you really care, you will allow him to make his own choices. You will give him the opportunity to make different choices, but you have to let him make his own choices. Whatever people do with whatever information you share with them is none of your business. So if you really care for someone, you will let them make their own choices after you have shared with them the option of other choices they can make. Because again, you don't know what his path is all about.
Mm.
Just because he's a member of your family doesn't mean you know better than he does. Even if what he knows is unconscious, doesn't mean you know better than he does about what it is he needs to experience to learn his lessons in life that he chose to learn. So be loving. You can certainly afford him the opportunity to hear you out and know that there may be other choices he can make. But when he makes his choice, that's his choice. And the choices he makes, it's none of your business. Just keep loving, keep supporting in whatever way you can.
Okay. And I wanted to ask, what is the secret to a long-lasting marriage?
Communication, clear communication, support, and allowing each being in the relationship to see reflections that will allow them to become more of who they truly are. Not any imposition of suppositions or insistences or assumptions about what they should be, but to allow them to become more of who they truly are. And that happens through support and clear communication investigation of deep belief systems, why people choose to do what they choose to do, to understand each other and support each other in ways that allow each of the people in the relationship, again, as we said, to become more of who they truly are, to find their self-empowerment.
Would you say that patience might have something to do with it?
No patience is required. The only reason you require patience is because you're being impatient, because you think you know better than someone else and they're not doing what you want them to do.
Thank you. And I have a little anxiety. Like, for me, place where I live is very important. And I have a little bit of anxiety when it comes to making a decision which city to live in. And it's
Why? Why do you have anxiety? Do you not have the capability of simply being attracted to something that you love, that you enjoy?
Well,
what's the anxiety about?
There's always the fear of like making the right choice, losing something.
You will always make the right choice, even if it's the wrong choice, because synchronicity, if you allow synchronicity in your life, will show you where you actually need to be. So even making what is not the correct choice will allow synchronicity to turn you around and provide opportunities that will take you to the correct choice. So you can always rely on synchronicity to be your guide. So again, don't heap judgment upon yourself for making a choice that may be out of alignment. If you trust synchronicity, it will show you the way.
Okay. So there is really, because my fear was like, oh my God, I'm going to lose all the people that I know here when I move.
Well, that's going to happen if you relate to that in terms of fear, because then you're creating it to happen because you're afraid it will happen, which is the same thing as manifesting it. So again, if you understand that all the important things that are relevant for you in life will not go away if you simply follow the flow of synchronicity, then you'll be fine. And if something does go away, then it needed to.
Okay, so just focus on the positives and that everything works out for me.
Why not? Why not? Why make any other choice? Even if something happens that you don't prefer, you have to know it's got to be there for a reason that can provide you a lesson that you need to learn, and therefore that's a positive thing. That's how you use what you don't prefer in a way that you do prefer.
Okay.
Yes?
Stop worrying and just focus on the positive.
It's exactly what we were already talking about. Stop heaping judgment on yourself and just get on with living your life in the best possible way you can, by providing yourself opportunities that you can learn lessons from, which is the whole point of why you are here in physical reality anyway. The process is the point. The journey is the destination. There's nowhere better that you can possibly be than to experience what's happening right now in your life and learning from it. All right?
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate this opportunity. And
it is our passion and our pleasure to interact with you as well. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't be so confident about your lack of confidence.
Okay, I'll keep
All right.
Thank you. Bye.